To all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave para peeps on this side of the veil, welcome. This is Reverend Shawn Whittington's Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Reverend Shawn, the Rev. Welcome to my haunted home, my very haunted home. And I suspect it could get active because of my guest today. We'll see. And I'll be bringing her on shortly. I know that's why you all tuned in. There will not be a prayer urn today because I got so many requests this past week, people wanting me to offer prayer up for loved ones of theirs that proudly served our country. Some made the ultimate sacrifice, some still with us. God bless them. So I'm going to offer up a wonderful prayer for all of them and all of you out there who are in the same situation, either have a family member that proudly served our country that is still with us or in heaven, and for Veterans Day. So, if you'd like to add some positive love and light to the prayer or receive some positive love and light from it, just when I start, touch your computer screen, close your eyes, and bow your head. And we will begin. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Spirit of peace, my heart turns to you as I embrace the somber significance of this day. Bring healing to those who suffer the horrible consequences of war. Mend the rifts that pit nation against nation. Give us the grace to find alternatives to vengeance and violence, and the courage to advocate for peaceful solutions in our conflicts. Center our hope in you so that, like the prophet Isaiah, we too envision a world without war. May all hope in your power and presence, I pray. Amen. Happy belated Veterans Day to each and every one of you. If there's anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. If you go there, keep in mind my wife and I don't charge for our ministry work, helping people with their paranormal issues. So I know times are tough, but if you notice the donate button and you're able to do so, click on it and send in a small donation. I promise you, it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts, and I assure you it'll be put to good use. In addition to being an ordained exorcist, I'm also a certified spiritual advisor, intuitive coach. If you're having issues of a spiritual nature not attached to the paranormal, and you'd like to speak to the Rev about that, there's a page there where you can make an appointment to speak with me. But do not leave the website without scrolling over to the page entitled the WSE course/book. On that page, you'll find the ghost store. Lots of cool things to purchase on there, like this throwback ghostbegone.biz coffee cup and a lot of other cool things in there if you go for that sort of stuff. But scroll down to the bottom of that page. You'll find my new haunted autobiography, God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry. And I quote, the scariest book I ever published. That was Annette Munich, owner of Stellium Books, my publisher. But please don't let that scare you off of purchasing a copy. It's a very different kind of feel good story. A lot of good versus evil where good wins. But if you haven't done your good deed for the day yet, pick up a copy. Part of the proceeds of every sale of every copy of my book goes to support stjude.org in St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, Nevada, and that's a beautiful thing. And I recently added another charity to that. I've been in the animal care industry most of my adult life, so that was a no-brainer. I added the ASPCA to that, so you get to help the animals too. You can purchase an autographed copy from me enclosed in a house blessing kit off of the website. You can also get it a little less expensive at Amazon. Scroll a little further down, you'll see the Worldwide Society of Exorcists, which I am a founding member. I offer a 12-week online college level course, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare. That course is ideal for all of you true warriors for Christ out there who feel a calling and a hunger to want more knowledge on how to draw your line in the sand, make a stand, circle the wagons, put up a good fight against, God forbid, true evil if it ever comes calling. That's the course for you. All my students that graduate get a stunning diploma, certificate of completion suited for framing, along with some other very special blessed gifts that you can only get from yours truly, the Rev. You can enroll in the course there, but if you'd like to know more about the course before making that type of commitment, there is a Worldwide Society of Exorcists Facebook page you can go to and read a little bit more about the course. Most importantly, please keep all of my past, current, and future students in your prayers. Okay, brothers and sisters, the reason why you all tuned in today, she's awesome. And that's not just me saying this. I don't know her very well. I plan to get her to know her a lot better today, and hopefully she'll have fun and come back. But everybody I talk to absolutely loves her. She's got to be the hardest working person in the paranormal field, highly sought after, has shows, is on TV, radio, film, you name it. You all know her. Please welcome to the show, brothers and sisters, the one and only Michelle DeRoche. Michelle, are you with us?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. You
Good.
look very pretty today. How do you
Thank
feel?
you. Thank you. Oh, I feel outstanding. Happy to be alive.
Let me tell you, this is paranormal because last week I had on a beautiful paranormal redhead. Back to back weeks, another one. That when does that happen?
I don't know. Yes, you lucked out.
Okay, what do I want to talk to you about today? We could talk about anything. If I ask you anything you're not comfortable talking about, you just say, Rev, I'd like to move on off that topic.
No, I'm an
And it's
open
no
book.
deal.
Feel free.
Okay, what do I want to know? I'm going to look at notes today because as soon as I uh, advertised you were on the show, friends and followers of yours started sending me in
Oh.
questions, and I am a terrible host in terms of I always forget to ask the questions from the followers and friends every week, and then I get people sending me hate mail afterwards. So here we go. This is a good one. When did you last have pizza, and what did you have on it?
Okay, Amelia. I have pizza at least 3 times a week.
Really?
I do. I love pizza, and I love Amelia's pizza the best. But I do love pizza, and I'm sort of a meat lover. So I don't mind mushrooms. I don't like green olives, black olives, but I'm not really fancy. I don't have it loaded or anything. So there you go. There's my
I'll
pizza loving life.
tell you what, I am so jealous right now, and you probably can't tell on the screen. I hope I don't start drooling because my mouth is watering. I am um, a self-proclaimed pizza addict. I would, if I could eat it every day, I would. But my wife's had me on Nutrisystem the last month and a half. She bought like 2 months worth. I think she's probably going to buy a third month and see me through the year. I'm sticking with it, but my God, am I missing pizza
That's the
big
worst.
time?
But you
And
can get like pizza with that's totally friendly for that sort of thing.
it, I'm telling you right now, I've been researching it, investigating. I am ready to rock and roll. I'm going to buy either a pizza stone or one of those pizza racks that
Yes.
Amelia talked about.
Yes, you
I'm
know.
going to be ready to rock and roll when I'm done with however long my wife wants to put me on this thing, and I think it's probably through the end of the year. I am going to jump back on the bandwagon, but I won't make the mistake and just go nuts like I normally do. I'm going to do some healthy, healthier, I should say,
Yes.
versions of it. But oh
Yes.
my gosh,
Yes.
yeah, she sent me an invitation to join a pizza group.
I know that's
A,
Wendy's group. It's fantastic.
yeah, um,
you know.
Sharon walks in here and catches me on that and goes, "You're just torturing yourself, honey. Get off.
I know.
Stop
It's true.
already." I'm like, "No, I learned stuff on here." So anyway, what else do people want to know about you? Oh, this is for me. A question for me. You and I have so much in common. We may not realize all of that in this short hour. So I know I'm going to want to have you back, but one other thing we have in common, and I want to talk to you about it, because your home sounds fascinating. We both live in a haunted house, and whenever I meet somebody like me that lives in a haunted house, I like to talk shop, if you will, because I know that I'm not a weirdo. I know my wife and I aren't weirdos. The neighborhood thinks we are. We're the weird old paranormal couple in the haunted house. Kids won't even come trick or treating here. They stand on the sidewalk and they send the parents up on Halloween to get the candy. So talk to me about this home you live in, the ghosts, how all that happened, and how you deal with that, and all of that stuff.
Um, I've been around paranormal activity my entire life, I think, from a very young age. I've had all kinds of recollections. But this specific house, I've only been living here full time for the last, I would say, 3 years. But I filmed here. This was my office. And the whole house is decorated like this. This is me. This isn't just an image thing. This is very much me. The house is 1872. It's a Gothic Revival manor house.
Wow.
It was built for the lady of the house to entertain in, and so everything was just really done top notch in it. The house, I've had a lot of people message me, through the years, as I've occasionally posted pictures. There has been film here, so those who follow me will have seen tidbits of the interior here and there. But they say your house has no walls, and it basically was sort of a grand central station. The security cameras would go off a lot, and there was not somebody here. The house is empty a lot of the times, and you'd see all of this stuff going on just through the cameras. But then it's like the spirits of the house are the people primarily who lived here before, but they were very well to do and had many homes. So it wasn't always active with them, but a lot of what I call drive-bys and malevolent things, and I just pop them out. I spent years just popping them out, popping them out. And the lady of the house, of course, is not grounded. She's not stuck, but she does stay here most of the time. She loves the dogs, and she just loves being around family.
That is so cool. People think I'm crazy for not doing something about it. And
Right.
here's my thought, and I would love your opinion on this. We believe, looking back, we didn't know that we suspected when we moved in, but we didn't know for sure if the house was haunted. Now, of course, what we do and all the places we've gone, cases we've worked, we knew that we would bring our fair share of hitchhikers back. We knew that once we felt that there was something originally attached to the home or the property, we figured there's going to be a lot of, like you said, drive-bys,
Mm-hmm.
recon blasts, coming and going. As long as, well, we did, I still do get some recon blasts in terms of if I know that there's going to be like a very ugly, uh, dark case come across my desk
Mm-hmm.
here, about 48 hours ahead of time, like clockwork, I start getting the drive-bys, but it's usually outside because
Mm-hmm.
probably on a weekly basis I'm doing the blessing, the cleansing, the smudging on my home, and so forth. Um, I don't like to rock the boat as long as the ones that are here
Yeah.
are either just in visitation or ancestral
As long as
visitation
they're not
or
bugging any of the other family members of the spirits who reside there, it should be more than okay.
absolutely.
That's how
And
I
here,
feel.
I'm going to throw another theory at you. Tell me if you think I'm crazy, and I could be. What do you think about spirits that are attached to you and attached to a place that find themselves feeling very protective over the place and almost become like watch spirits
I've seen
of
it
the location to
happen
protect it? Really? Tell me about
many,
that.
many times. Many times. I've had cases where people have tried to, go in and, especially if the place was, let's say, like a bed and breakfast, that sort of place, and people are trying to get in there, and the spirits don't like them. You can't get in. The door just won't open for them. The spirits hear. have alerted us to intruders on the property at night. And there's a
Wow.
lot of security lights and such here. So you probably see them from space because it's a big house with a big tower, and the whole thing just goes, it's all lit up. I'm sure the person out there is like, what the heck? And then all of a sudden the spirits will start calling out to the individual people who have been in the house,
Really?
like get up, just, yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of voices in here, a lot of, talking, but I've seen that happen a lot. I've seen it happen a lot. The spirits become very protective, especially if it was their home before. That's not going to change.
I
Intruder alert.
believe that. I'm glad we're on the same page there. I
Yeah.
don't feel so crazy now.
No, no, no.
Um, there's also the theory that
Mm,
well, I buy into this theory. I do pray for the spirits that are here all the time, and every once in a while I'll throw out there, listen, my wife and I are going to be okay. I'm not going to burn the home down. I'm not going to, do any remodeling. If you're waiting for a reason to go to the light or cross over, I'm giving you my blessing and praying for
mm.
you. You don't have to stick around. But if you'd like to, just don't bother us. Don't scare us. Don't bother us. Don't hurt the animals. Yada yada yada. But there's something interesting going on here in terms of like, I do believe there's elementals on the property. I do believe there's a lot of spiritual activity, not only in but outside the home.
Mhm.
But recently here, all of a sudden, we had this little tiny white cat walk up our driveway one day. I mean, I it was so tiny, it was unbelievable to me that this kitten would leave its little home with its mother and its
Aw.
siblings. That's how tiny it was. Came up the driveway, wouldn't leave. So my wife, of course, we both have worked at an animal hospital forever. So she brought home a big carrier, put some blankets and beds in there, some quilts over the top of it, put a food and water dish out there, fed it 3 times a day. And the cat ended up living with us for over 10 years. Solid
Wow.
white, blue eyes
Mm,
like mine, a little
mm.
cross eyed. So I think she
No.
had some Siamese in her, but
Mm,
lovely cat. But then about 2 weeks or a month, about a month, maybe 2 weeks before we found out she was developing a brain tumor because she started acting
mm,
neurological, these 4 adult cats that we'd never seen before showed up, started hanging around her. We thought, oh, these are friends of hers that she knows out in the neighborhood. They're here to help her on her journey.
mhm.
When she got to the point where she wouldn't even come out of her carrier anymore because she was so neurological, we could
Yeah.
tell she was frightened. We took her in and we had her euthanized.
Mhm.
But these 4 cats didn't leave, and then one of the female, it was two big males, 2 adult females. We didn't realize one of the females was
The
pregnant,
mom.
so she had ended up having 10 kittens.
Oh,
They're
wow.
all here now. It's been months. They're all here. We
Wow.
we brought home like 3 more big carriers, and we got the whole front yard set up. Do you believe any of that is can be attributed, especially with cats, to the paranormal activity that draws that type of animal attraction to a place?
Animals are highly intuitive, first off. So they see everything, they feel everything. Cats, of course, are said to be guardians, throughout ancient times as well. Look at the ancient Egyptians, they revered them. They are said to be guardians and they can ward off evil spirits, is the theory. But they're no different than human beings. They're sentient beings. They're going to feel everything. They're going to see what's happening. We have a dog who is has a neurological problem, and the other dogs know that she needs extra care, and she can't see either because of a stroke and then had a seizure. She came to us as a rescue, and but she fights so hard that we keep fighting with her. She tries and tries, and but the other dogs know very well, okay, there's something not quite right with her. So they stay close to her. They know she can't see. One really stays close. So I believe they're all natural intuitives. So they're going to be intuitive to anything that's there. When it comes to animals, there are some paranormal researchers who will bring dogs on cases with them. It's one of the
Yeah.
first questions I ask. Say if you have a pet, follow their lead. They're going to see what's in that house before you do, most likely. But they're also
Absolutely.
the most innocent because they can't speak to you. And I've seen animals with attachments because there's no way they can tell you, and it's a place for an entity to grab onto.
Wow, that's beautiful. I totally not only was I getting goosebumps when you were telling me that, but
Mm.
I have a couple of candles burning on the table here, and they were just about to go out, and then they just started dancing crazily as you were
Oh,
addressing that question.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I happened to be at the Highland Games a couple of years back, and I was walking around, and a woman that I don't even know walked up to me and said, she doesn't know didn't have a clue who I was.
Right.
She said, I'm going to just be honest with you. I'm a psychic medium, and I don't know if you believe in that sort of stuff. I just kind of smiled, didn't say anything.
Yeah.
He said, but I've never seen anybody walk around with a bigger posse of spirit animals following them than you. And I realized, I can't remember in my life ever not having a dog from being a
Same.
small child my whole life.
Mm.
So I'm not ready to for my journey to end after this show today.
Right.
But when my journey ends, that's going to be my ideal heaven, to be around all the animals that I once owned and loved, that I knew loved me. That is, I don't know, was it Will Rogers, I think, that said, if there's no dogs in heaven, I want to go where they're at.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing. I'm so looking forward to that part of heaven, along with a lot of other things too. But I think just as we are in life, we are in death. And if there's spirits that are, for whatever reason, have decided to remain here in spirit form for a while, and they were wonderful people in life, they're still going to be wonderful in death.
Mm.
And I believe if they loved animals, then they attached. You're right. They attach to the animals even more, and there's kind of like a wonderful relationship there between them. Where do you think the elementals fit in? Because like I said, I believe they're on the property too. You
Mhm.
probably have them big time where you live.
I would come across them all the time in different locations.
Yeah,
I was
where do
taught how
they
to
fit
deal
in
with
with
them.
the ghosts and the
Easy.
animals, the elementals?
It's easy. They're earth spirits, and a lot of our native people would work with them, for better crops, protection, protect the land. I had, I'll tell you a story about elementals and how
Please.
I came to deal with them. Um, and I was contacted probably about 2.5 years ago from a woman who asked me to deal with a colleague of hers who was elderly. And she said, he's a gift to this world, and no one will really understand when he's gone. And I was like, okay. He ended up with an attachment, um, demonic attachment. So I said, okay, no problem. And I got talking to him, and I realized, I said, you're not from here, are you? Meaning, like, you come from somewhere else, because he does a lot of planetary work, and he works with whales and nature, and he can remote view, he can see things, and he works with hieroglyphs in his mind that are given to him. He just does wondrous things. I've never met anyone like him, but he's starting to get Alzheimer's very slowly. So he's working as much as possible, and he's, I think, not realizing things are coming back with him. And I first, started working with him and was able to get him clear. And I was struggling with another case because I'm thinking, I don't usually struggle. I can pop out, I can pop them out fairly easily. And he goes, out of the blue, he goes, what's the problem you're having with this case? And he named it. And there's no way he could have known it. And I went, oh, wow, there's a ley line there. So everything just keeps amping up. And he goes, move it. I'm like, you can move a ley line. He goes, give me a minute. It's like, you can move a ley line in a minute, no less. Okay. And he did. And I got a message from the homeowner within moments of him doing it. And I mean, moving it like just inches. It doesn't have to be, you can't move them out. You just sort of bump them a bit. And she messaged me and she said, everything just went really quiet in this house, because she's also very psychic. And she, and again, doing readings for people, back door, something comes in. Anyway, she goes, this house just got amazingly quiet just now. And then he messaged me and he goes, okay, you'll find it outside. It's kind of remote view. We did. We found it outside. I was like, wow. But anyway, elementals, earth spirits, he said the things with elementals is they love to be within the trees. If they're unhappy, they will tear through a house. They will wreak havoc. Earth, wind, water, fire. Like it's just their earth spirits. And he goes, light them up. Just give them light, give them offerings, because they're earth spirits. And we started doing that. Elementals are no longer a problem anywhere I go.
Wow.
Nurture the trees. It's all about the trees because the trees are a
Really?
source of life and they're also sentient.
Very interesting. It's funny you bring up trees because I've told this story a bunch of times on this show, so I'm not going to bore all the people that tune in on a regular basis with it again. But I had this huge tree, the biggest tree on my property,
Mm,
and I did everything. There's many other trees here, and they're all doing great, and I watered them all the time and stuff. But this one huge tree, for some reason, died, and it started to fall towards my house. And I
oh,
knew if it landed on it, it was going to totally take out our master bedroom. I knew if it landed one other way, it would take out probably the garage of my neighbor. I knew if
mm,
it landed another way, it would take out the cars. We'd have to start parking in the street and hope they didn't land on them while they were parked there.
mm,
Or if it landed another way, it might hurt a kid. We have kids playing out
yeah.
in the street and it would land in the street. So I got a lot of heat from a lot of people, clergy in my field, for going out there. And I have a little Native American in me, so I knew there was elementals here. I tapped into that. I did pray to the Holy Family, and I
Mm,
did use some holy water and some other stuff out there when I did my offering. But I dug a hole by this tree, and I did what you just said. I put like, I believe, candy, peanuts,
could do
money,
tobacco,
tobacco,
fruit. Yeah.
all sorts of stuff in there. I prayed to them to help. I said, please don't let this tree land on my home or
Right.
hurt anybody. I'm telling you, this tree was going to land on my house. The
Right.
next day, my wife and I woke up. She says, honey, you got to come out here and see this. It lifted up and completely fell the opposite way,
There
perfectly
you
in my
go.
yard, missing the cars, the neighbor, and falling just short of the sidewalk so it wouldn't hit a kid. I
There you
thanked
go.
them.
Hmm.
All of my colleagues were like, well, now you're going to have to really appease them because when you ask for some help from some uh, form like that, entity
Hmm.
like that, you got to pay it back. I said, well, no, my theory was I already did that when I gave the offering.
That's right. That's right.
Um, I haven't had any issues, although I don't go in the backyard because there's something around the pool that on one occasion, our pool's drained, but we've always had paranormal issues with the pool, and something I couldn't see actually tossed me in the deep end once. That really hurt. I
Hmm.
don't go back there anymore, but
If you need
yeah,
some assistance,
I go out there. I bless my water
mm,
system, and I put holy metals all over the faucet and around the hoses, and I actually turn my water system on and use that as holy water to spray the roof and the
uh,
perimeter of the backyard and
we've
stuff. And it
seen that done in pools where we bring in an exorcist and you bless it. It turns the entire pool into holy water.
absolutely, and you start baptizing people. If I had water in it, I swear I would do baptisms. I swear I would. But um, it's funny you also mentioned Alzheimer's. I
Mm,
just found it's funny. You and I might be psychically connected here and not even realize it. But a good friend of mine that I hadn't talked to in a while just found out someone close to him reached out to me and said he's got Alzheimer's. That's why
that's
you
my
haven't
father.
heard from him.
Yeah.
But I have a psychic medium friend that I know is one of the truly gifted ones. There's many out there that, eh, but some I do believe are truly gifted. This one is a trance medium who is so in tune with her, um, I guess, for lack of a better term, we'll refer to it as a spirit guide or
Hmm.
whatever the spirit is that she channels for her source energy. She gave it permission to come and go as it pleases to help her when she's struggling with this Alzheimer's. So you can be talking to her, you can totally see where she is going through a moment, if you will,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden she's so coherent and so clear of thought and clear of mind, but it's not 100% her. There's some assistance
But
happening.
isn't that a form of possession?
You know what? That's why I'm asking you what you think about
Yeah.
that, because
Mhm.
like I have friends who are Buddhists, and
Yeah.
they do that form of deity possession yoga where they
Yeah.
invite the
It's like a
deities
deep
in.
meditative state too.
I don't want, like I said, I'm not a trance medium. I don't
Yeah.
judge.
Yeah.
I love her.
Oh,
I don't
it's
say anything. But
to each his own, whatever
what
works
do
for
you
you.
think about that?
I mean, I've seen, I think if you have a handle on it and you're prepared to deal with anything that could go wrong, then that's definitely, if she's seasoned enough to know, oh, something doesn't feel right. I've known in the 20 years I've been doing this, some really amazing seasoned researchers who don't even know when something comes into their space, or they'll want to do a seance and they don't even realize that something malevolent has come in, that something has completely come in and mimicked a human spirit. You're inviting communication. Here's what people don't realize. When, even as researchers, whenever we pull up that voice recorder and we're requesting contact, come and speak to me. What is your name? Tell me about yourself. You're inviting dialogue. Ghostbox, phone app. Phone apps have everything on it now for you can do spirit communication. It's
Yeah.
not just the boards. The boards get a really bad rap. And I'm not saying run out and do it. I'm saying I'm saying that first off, you don't even need a board to do that kind of communication. There's so many other ways you can do it. But it's a tool that people seem to need something physical, to open up these doorways. It is your mindset, it is your intention. So if you are intending to make an invitation for something to come in and communicate with you, you are taking a risk that you're opening a door. It's careful what you wish for. You will get it. I've seen it happen so many times. And I have fixed so many situations where researchers have gone into homes. I demand you show yourself. That's my favorite. I demand you show yourself.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, face palm. It's like,
Religious provocation, I don't do it. Yeah.
I don't know. In fact, I don't even really investigate anymore because I already know by talking to people, just listening to what they're telling me. There's certain things that have certain characteristics. As different as they all are with respects to the entity, the characteristics are all the same. I already know what I'm looking for. I don't need to go in there and communicate with something that these people don't want there. I've got hundreds of EVPs. I don't need to go in there and get more. I don't need to go in there and stir things up. It's different when you're investigating a location where somebody says, I just want to get to know the spirits in my home. Okay, perfect. I'm not your person. I don't do those. I work specifically, and I have worked, with people doing exorcisms and clearers, and I've consulted on cases and TV shows and anything that has to do with this stuff. But I work specifically in alleged malevolent or hauntings, attachments, demonic infestations, things like that. Characteristics are all the same. It doesn't change.
Yeah. I know what I want to ask you, and this is another one from me. And then I'm going to look at some of the more questions from your the people that love you. Um, I am getting a lot of people reaching out to me who are new and up and coming paranormal investigators, ghost hunters, ghostbusters.
Mm.
They saw what they saw people do it on TV, thought it looked cool. They have a little bit of a passion for it. Maybe some of them had a paranormal situation personally. Maybe some of them didn't. They just thought it looked cool and they form a team, but they don't have nobody to really train them.
Mm.
So many of them find themselves at the wrong place at the wrong time, saying and doing the wrong thing, and
Mhm.
they end up bringing home attachment, one or more than one person on the team. I love that there's still people like you and I in the field that are open books, that are willing to pass the torch back, that want to want to help if people need help
Mhm.
and want people to do it the right way. For all of those next gen up and coming Ghostbusters, and I'm going to use that term a lot now since the premiere of the new one is
Mhm.
next week. What would you like to say to them if we
Mhm.
could have, it's I feel blessed to even have you for an hour today. You're so busy, so
Oh,
God
thank
bless you
you.
for coming on
My
the show. But
pleasure.
for
My pleasure.
all of these up and coming next gens that are watching, what does Michelle DeRoche have to say about the paranormal field, uh, the state of the union paranormal field, if you will, or how they should approach this, or all of that stuff. Anything you want to say on that matter? If you even want to rant about something, you've
Oh,
got the
no, no.
floor.
Yeah, I'm not too much of a ranter. I try to do it with taste. Um, Here's the thing. There's a lot of people out there who are amazing at what they do. There's other people out there who, not so much. Maybe would be better suited to investigating haunted locations as a collective, like the big asylums or things like that. Just testing, you know, just hardcore research. I think when you start getting involved, and I do have a lot of them who reach out to me and say, "Look, we've got this you know family coming up. This is not what we do. Could you do it or consult on it or whatever?" I take a lot like that. um, but I think where people go wrong first off is they have this mindset where they come into a family's home and they make the family feel as though you're lucky we're here to help you. We got to get our evidence. And here's the thing that's wrong. First off, um, leave your ego at the door, period. No room for it. You have to go in there with a different mindset. When I have gone into people's homes, the first thing I do is I thank them for entrusting themselves and their families to me. I'm like, thank you for entrusting yourselves to me and your family, your space. Let me take the weight for a while. Relax. Then I start empowering them. Then I start teaching them. Most people, by the time I'm done with them, they don't need me if this ever happens again.
Absolutely.
I've seen people clear their own homes just from what I've taught them. Because one time I had a year and a half waiting list. I just can't get to them. So I would work with them, just through the computer or phone calls. I say this, and this. Do it to the letter. Don't stray from it. Mindset. You're the warrior. You've got this. Because people don't realize that negative things cannot dwell in a positive space. They need the negativity to feed off of, which is why they're constantly playing the divide and conquer game, trying to isolate you from the people who love you, trying to amp up, let's say, medical conditions, depression, anxiety, PTSD, you name it, addictions. Or, if they don't create it, they'll amplify it, keep the negativity pot going so they can feed from it, get stronger. You get weaker. They don't let you sleep. They don't let you eat. I've seen every scenario. So when you bring somebody into your home, no, you shouldn't pay for it. Expenses, yes. Whatever is required, you don't pay a fee for that sort of thing. First off, it's bad karma. It's not going to work. There is no guarantee you're going to get rid of anything. Most places I've done, the only time it could be a one-time shot is if you're dealing with a human spirit who doesn't realize they're gone or they're attached to something, they have a message that you can finally move them over. Non-human entities have all the time in the world, and there's usually always more than one. Hence term legion, right? Always have the little compadres running around. And don't ever feel like you are the stranger in your own home when a team comes in and takes over. You're the one in control. They should be humbled that you are allowing them into your space and giving them your trust looking for their knowledge. Make sure they have the knowledge, because otherwise they're going in to communicate with something you don't want there. They get to go home, maybe with a friend. But at the end of the day, those people get left behind, having to put up with all of everything that went on afterwards. And this thing's sitting there going, well, you wanted to talk to me half an hour ago. Don't get to do that. The invitation has been made. See, mindset, it's everything. That's my problem with some investigators.
Yeah, on a little side note on that, you're right. Once the person they come in and they, let's say they do, there is something, God forbid, malevolent there.
Yeah.
They come in and they do the religious provocation,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever's there just lay in wait, doesn't respond. Then
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
leave, then it attacks the
That's right.
family that lives there.
And it's one or two things. It's either false sense of security, everything goes real quiet, might go quiet for an hour, might go quiet for a year, a month, but then it amps up and you never see it coming. Or it just full on goes bang up crazy on you to try to get you to completely back off from bringing anyone else in again.
Absolutely, yeah.
One or the
Just
other.
when my wife and I show up at a place, if we always know if there truly is something malevolent present, because just our presence is
Oh,
provocation,
yeah,
and we start
absolutely.
we start getting that funky vibe. I
Mm-hmm.
always remove immediately before we go any further with the investigation. I have all the children, and if it's
Yes.
possible, all the children and animals removed.
Mm-hmm.
Go board, give the animals to a neighbor or
Yes.
your local vet if he's got a kennel, and have the
Mm-hmm.
children stay with a family member at another location. Um, I try to find the bright side about everything. My wife and I didn't leave the home other than going to work and straight home. Didn't do anything for a year and a half during the lockdowns and the
Mm-hmm.
height of the pandemic and all that. The bright side of that is it made me a much better counselor because that's
Mm-hmm.
all I had now. When people
Right.
let me well, just this stack right here, just this stack.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look very thick on camera, but it's a lot of paper here.
Mm-hmm.
Just this stack is what I got today from people emailing me with issues. And
Mm-hmm.
it's gone to the point where I'm not as far behind as you were at one time, but I barely can get through a week's worth of people reaching
The
out to me.
messages come in daily, and you
So
have
I
to keep rechecking people, right? You can't just
absolutely,
walk away.
I end up having to refer a lot of cases to other teams that I trust, but
Yeah.
I have when I wasn't going physically to work these locations because of COVID, for their protection and ours, I had to become a better counselor. And you touched base on probably the most important thing you said in that whole thing
Mm-hmm.
was people don't realize they are the ones that absolutely have the power to take their life
They
in
do.
their home back.
They do.
And they're hanging on emotionally over the edge of the abyss by their fingernails.
Mm-hmm.
You have to somehow make them realize that that's the God's honest truth, that they are
That's
the
true.
ones with the power. I love that you touched base on that.
Warriors. You're
Um,
all warriors. You just don't realize it
Absolutely.
because you've been living in an oppressed state, and you've been made to feel like you are a hostage, and you're not. You have
And I want to
complete control.
apologize for not asking you at the top of the show. How have you done? I mean, you've been on so much stuff. I mean, every project you've been involved in, the people have seen you on, whether it was radio, TV, film, what have you, has always been top notch, top shelf,
Mm,
well done.
thank you.
Um, how did the whole pandemic and COVID and all that affect everything that you do this last year and a half?
Well, I wasn't filming. Usually people think, oh, you're filming paranormal and it's seasonal. There are times I would film right up to Christmas Eve. you know, um, my life hasn't changed much aside from filming. I still consult on things worldwide. Radio. The radio show, started out as a Q&A with my really dear friend Jack Kenna and I, and because people are so curious, you know, even now, some of our highest rated shows, we could get between 2 and 3 million live listeners a night, and the ones that do really amazing are the ones where they can just ask questions,
Yeah.
and it's just a million eyes. It's like, okay, and when Jack basically said, "Oh yeah, I make a much better guest than a host," and I just laughed. We did have him come on after that, but I just tweaked everything. I created it in a way that I wanted it to be much like this, very round table like. I bring on people on the top of their fields from all over the world, many genres of different things, not just paranormal. And I just find that people have healthy curiosities about. I mean, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to those who do love me or follow me and love the work. And they did follow me into radio. Definitely followed me into radio. And investigations, everything's done remotely. And Amelia and I do lots in a week. But beyond that, it's a lot of phone time, much like yourself. You're playing counselor, and it's just a lot of time just being an ear, checking up on people. Are you okay? What's going on? Tell me what the activity is like, if any. You can't drop them. Just have to keep checking because the mindset isn't right. Even though you could clear them, every time they get that little something, they think it's out of the corner of their eye. They think it's something, and that in itself can make you vulnerable. If you're grieving, how many people have lost someone during the pandemic? Grieving itself can open doors because you so desperately want a sign from your loved one. There are so many things waiting to mimic that.
Absolutely. And I love something else you touched a base on before was the whole don't pay for it.
Yeah.
Some people that reach out to me are so desperate.
Mm,
We all do a StreamYard or a
mm,
Zoom or Facebook Live with them because they want to see the face,
yeah.
and they'll beg me to come there. I'll pay your travel expenses. I'll pay you money
Mm,
to come here. I'll pay you to perform deliverance or an exorcism on the internet here, which you can't do. I know that
no,
I'm not going to call anybody out. I know there's guys
mm,
out there that do it.
it's hard.
It's yeah,
I
and
mean, remote viewing,
they
you
get
can remove
money for
stuff.
it too.
So,
I'm also
yeah,
not really. I don't take money. I know
yeah.
there's some guys out there that charge a lot for it, and they get it. God bless them.
Mm,
I don't do that, but I love that you touched the base on that too, because usually that should throw a red flag up to
mm-hmm,
people. But people offer me, I turn it down,
mm-hmm.
um, because that's just
Do you want to know
I
what my fee is, Reverend? Really, my fee is pay it forward. Do something for someone else.
I love that.
But
Yeah,
that's my people say, no, I want to donate something to you. I said, pay it forward. If you my passion is helping animals. So pay it forward to a shelter. Or I sat here on the phone with you for 2 hours and now go be an ear for someone else. Smile at somebody. Just shake their hand. Do something. Just pay it forward. And
absolutely.
any way you choose, a charity of your own, donate your time. Whatever that case may be, just that is my request when people ask me. But I want to do something to repay you. Heck, I've helped people who went on to do their own teams and just go and do what I do. And it's just like, that's the biggest compliment. It's like, thanks. Like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you took it all in and you've applied it. This is wonderful. So that's exactly what it is. Pay it forward. That's my
With
request.
me, many people I've helped who had kind of lost their way. They were raised in a very,
Mm,
um, I know everybody hates the word religious,
yeah.
but many of them were uh, raised in a very religious household with some
Mm,
type of strong religious belief system in place. And then as they got older, they got off that path,
mm.
and this paranormal issue happened to them. After I get done helping them, they came back onto the path, and some of them even went into ministry, the ministry field.
This is
You're right. So
perfect.
that's
Yeah,
the biggest compliment.
it is.
Um,
It is.
before we run out of time here, and I'm not going to let you leave without making sure everybody knows everything you're doing, the
Right.
website, the radio show, any filming you may have coming up. But I
Mm,
want to ask you, I commented earlier that I'm not going to use my prayer urn today, which was an old antique urn that may or may not have had somebody's ashes in it but it didn't when my wife and I bid on it at this obscure out in the middle of nowhere paranormal conference that we went to. They had these
I
items
I
to
have
bid
tons of
on.
haunted items.
I thought nobody would. I thought we're not going to get it, but let's just bid on it, and nobody else wanted it. We ended up getting it, so I put all my weekly prayer requests in there. I know you've got a huge, huge collection. People think I'm crazy for having it. Most of it I take it off of people's hands because they really, for whatever reason, believe this particular item is haunted. It's giving them issues.
Right.
They give it to me. I do my own particular type of binding
Hmm.
ceremony on it. I keep it here in the house. Don't really have any issues, knock on wood, with it. And I know people right now are going, "Did we just see the Reverend knock on wood?" That's superstitious. I'm human, you know.
That's it.
Um,
It is hard to have insurance.
yeah, talk to me about living with all of these haunted items and people that now don't, they have an issue one time. Now they won't go uh, shopping for antiques, or they
Mm,
got rid of all their antiques because of that type of situation. Talk to me about that. Give some advice to people out there that like to shop for antiques
mm,
or don't do it any longer or are selling all their antiques because they had an issue.
mm.
Haunted items, how to bind them or how you should handle them. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I have items that are hundreds of years old, literally. Like I have a
Wow.
human skull that's like 600 years old.
Wow.
My first haunted item that came to me was a human skull, and it was probably a couple hundred years old, and it wreaked all kinds of havoc at the client's house. And it came to me, and it was perfectly fine.
What
It's not always
before you
about.
move on off that, why do you think that is? Because I've had like items come to me that while they were in the person's possession, some
Yeah,
really crazy stuff happened. They come here and knock on wood again.
yeah.
My wife and I don't have any issues with it. Of course, I do my ceremony on it, but
Mhm.
why do you think that is? What's your theory
I just
on
think maybe
that?
it's the way you treat it. For example, this skull used to have this big Russian military helmet on it. I hated it. It didn't like being where it was. It was on this little dark shelf someplace. And I said to the guy, I said, look, just move it. It'll be fine. Just move it. You'll never have another problem with it again. He goes, no, 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 no. Let's get it out of here and wake up the
Take
kids.
the
And I'm
helmet
like,
off.
I know. It's just like, that's what I said. Take the helmet off, put it out in the
Did it
open
have a
somewhere.
spike?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It did. It was an officer's helmet.
Oh my god.
But you know what? He basically he just said, no, I don't want it. I said, okay. I brought it here, stuck it on my desk, threw a baseball cap on it, sat there while I worked. And I would just look at him and go, what? Like it was just not a big thing. Now it sits in one of my showcases. Everybody who films here, producers, everybody's taking pictures, says that cannot end up online someplace, but you're welcome, to share it amongst friends and family kind of thing. But I mean, there's many, many items that are not an issue. Some of the items that have come to me, other paranormal groups have said there's something in it. You have to take it. The people don't want it. I grab it. I tell people I'll keep it for a year. I'll remove what's in it if there's something there. If you want it back, they just don't ever want it back because it's a memory, a mindset thing. So it sits in storage. I don't keep everything here, but most of it is really benign, if anything at all. So
Wow.
you want to shop for antiques, get the history of it. And when you hold it, just pay attention to your intuition. If there's something that doesn't feel right about it, don't take it. Its energy isn't jiving with yours. Leave it.
Yeah, I even had a gentleman reach out to me once. If he's watching, forgive me for not remembering what religious belief system he is, and it's one of the more popular, largely accepted religions in India. He was from India, but his wife had a thing about antique lamps, and
Mm-hmm.
he said that his wife they bought this antique lamp, and she was cleaning it, rubbing the lamp,
Up in the
and
lamp.
yeah, and he
Oh,
said that a jinn came out. I'm not big familiar with the jinns too much. They
yes.
are, and he
Yes.
said this jinn is now taking my wife over. Will you help us with this? That's still an open case. I said, you got to do something with that lamp. No more lamps. No more, or no more rubbing them. If she's gonna still buy lamps, no more rubbing it. But
That's attached to her now.
yeah, that's just what we do. We sometimes I think we're crazy for doing what we do, but it's just it's just something in us.
I
It's
wouldn't
what we
have
do.
it. I wouldn't have it any other way. This isn't what I set out to do.
Yeah, me
I've
neither.
always loved the paranormal. I did, right. I just, to me, if you're able, how can you not? I once had somebody interview me and said, "When do you think you'll retire?" Because I mean, I put in so many hours in a week.
I
It's
already can see
unbelievable.
this. I can already see
Yeah.
Amelia pushing you with a wheelchair, the two of you into locations. So not
I mean,
not not anytime soon.
no, no. Realistically, I always said, and I said to this person, I said, as long as there's breath in me and my mind is right, I'll do it. I'll do it because I just have a knack for it. And for me, I just handle it very differently. I've had things follow me back. I remember getting ready to go to this one location, and it knew I was coming, and I heard this growl at me, and this thing was a knocker. So it knocked 3 times on my bedside table. I walk out. Mindset is so important, people. Remember that. I walked out, grabbed my purse, and I said, "I'll see you in an hour, mister." And I walked out the door, and that was it. And I got there. I knew exactly where it was. It was just like, bam. It wasn't hard. Some of them are. I'm not going to make this look like it's a cakewalk. This isn't a cakewalk. It's just sometimes, the element of surprise is the way to go. But if you can reach the people, reach the mindset. I mean, this woman fell to her knees on the ground, wrapped herself around me, and cried. She just couldn't believe that I was there in front of her, and I just picked her up and I went, just, you're okay. I've got you. I've got you. And that was it,
You're a
clearly.
very special woman. You know that. You do have a lot of people out there that love you and respect you. I love you. I respect you. Let me make
Thank
sure you
you.
know that.
Thank you.
In the couple of minutes we have left,
Yeah.
anything you want people to know, give a shout out to the radio show,
Mhm.
the podcast, your website,
Mhm.
anything
Yeah.
you may have working. Let anybody know anything you want them to know before I have to say goodbye to you.
Every Wednesday and Thursday night, which should be 8 to 10 Central, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern, is the Outer Realm Radio with myself and with my co-host Amelia Pisano on the United Public Radio Network. And it's always a lot of fun. It's a 2-hour gig. You guys will have fun. We're fun. And on Saturdays, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 to 7 Central, is a Gray Zone Uncensored that I do with my other co-hosts and friends. We're all friends. We're one big happy family. Joe Montaldo. And that one is not a guest related thing. It's an information related thing. And that's pretty much where you're going to find me. So MichelleDeRoche.com. You can find
You
me.
have your website. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't really do much with the website.
That's okay.
People insist I have it. So, but please, no messages on social media. It is best to go to the website for that and email me, because I get over 100 private messages a day just on Facebook alone, not counting anywhere else. And that doesn't count the group pages. I'm one person. I can't keep up with it all.
Absolutely.
It's very hard.
Oh my gosh. So honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for spending an hour with me and my Paranormal Ministry family. We all love you. There's only one of you. God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful remainder of your Friday evening. Have a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and all that good stuff.
And to you also.
I'll be, as soon as I start booking dates next year, I'm going to be begging you to come back. So get ready for it.
2 hours. We'll do one of the other 2-hour jobbers.
Okay. Have a wonderful evening. I'll see you soon. Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Good night.
Okay. Night.
Hope everybody enjoyed that. Let me give a quick shout out to my guest stand-in producer today. Adrienne is in love and traveling to be with her new love, so she's on the road. My guest stand-in producer is the husband of Crystal Kohler, Mr. Tim Kohler. They are the Paranormal Bonnie and Clyde, the Kohlers. So thank you very much, Mr. Tim Kohler, for all your hard work. He's a bigwig with Things Network, which I am now simulcast on there. Bigwig with PUN TV, which I am also simulcast there. So thank you to both those networks. If you like my show, go to the Paranormal United Network Facebook Live page, go to Things Network Facebook Live page. Both networks have great lineups, shows way better than mine. Check them out. I will be back next Friday, the 19th. Barry and Connie Strom. If you haven't met them, you're going to love them. He's a critically acclaimed author. They are both world renowned psychic medium trance channels. They will channel somebody wonderful who will give us all a beautiful Thanksgiving message next week. So tune into that. Tune in because it's my last show of the year. I won't be back till Friday, January 7th of 2022, taking December off. So come and wish me a happy birthday. It'll be my birthday. Let's talk about Ghostbusters, which will be premiering that day. Let's have fun. So I'll see you all next Friday. Let me leave you with this. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, self control. Against such, there is no law. St. Paul, Galatians. I love you all. Thank you all for tuning in. I don't have a show without you. Have a blessed week. I'll be watching. Peace. Good night, dog. Good night, Jack. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. God bless you all. Good night, everybody.